There is a kind of power that no title can grant, no fortune can buy, and no enemy can destroy. A silent, unshakable strength that does not depend on external conditions, but rises from within. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, understood this secret more deeply than perhaps any leader before or after him. He ruled over millions. He commanded armies, dictated the fate of nations, and sat atop a world empire. Yet in the silence of his own mind, he realized a truth that most rulers never dare to face. Power over others means nothing if you do not have power over yourself. In his private writings, never intended for public eyes, Marcus confided his battles, not with enemies, but with his own mind. The temptations of pride, anger, vanity, and despair gnawed at him daily. He knew that the true enemy was not the barbarian at the gates, but the undisciplined mind within. And so he cultivated a strength invisible to the crowds. He trained himself, thought by thought, to become unbreakable, not by conquering lands, but by conquering fear, not by accumulating more, but by needing less. The hidden lessons he left behind are not instructions for ruling empires. They are blueprints for mastering the self, for forging a kind of internal freedom that remains untouched, even when the entire world collapses around you. These lessons are not glamorous. They do not offer quick victories or instant gratification. They demand discipline, humility, and relentless honesty with oneself. And perhaps this is why they remain hidden from most, because the cost of true strength is too high for those who crave comfort. But if you are willing, if you are ready to see beyond the illusions of status, wealth, and fame, then you can walk the same path Marcus Aurelius walked. A path that leads not to the brittle, performative strength celebrated by society, but to an enduring, silent power that no force on earth can take from you. Today, we uncover these hidden lessons. Today, we journey into the mind of a philosopher king who understood that real power, real freedom, begins where the ego ends. This is not a history lesson. It is an invitation to become stronger than fear, stronger than pain, stronger than the world itself. And it all begins within. From the outside, power appears to be the ultimate prize. The power to command armies, shape laws, influence millions. It dazzles and tempts even the strongest minds. But Marcus Aurelius saw through the glamour. He understood that most of what the world calls power is little more than performance. Real power, he realized, does not come from external dominance. It comes from internal mastery. The emperor wrote to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Society conditions you to believe that control over others equates to control over life. But no matter how vast your empire, you cannot command fate. You cannot decree happiness. You cannot legislate peace of mind. Kings have fallen to despair. Conquerors have died in anguish. Rich men have lived in terror of losing what they built. External power is always hostage to forces beyond your control. The shifting tides of politics, the betrayals of others, the inevitable decay of the body. Marcus knew that building your identity on such fragile foundations guarantees a lifetime of anxiety and fear. And so, he turned inward. He practiced the art of letting go of what he could not control and doubling his grip only on what he could: his thoughts, his choices, his reactions. He saw the vanity in titles, the emptiness of fame, the fleeting nature of wealth. And he warned himself daily not to be seduced by illusions. "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others," he wrote, "unless you are doing it with reference to some common good." Every day he reminded himself, "You are mortal. You are vulnerable. You are a small part of a vast, indifferent universe. And yet within this fragile frame, you possess a fortress no external force can breach, if you have the courage to claim it. Marcus's hidden truth was brutal but liberating. You control almost nothing outside yourself. But what you do control, your own mind, is enough to make you free in any circumstance. Most never discover this. They waste their lives chasing illusions, measuring their worth by numbers, applause, influence. And when it crumbles, as it always does, they are left hollow, terrified, broken. But those who turn inward, who cultivate sovereignty over their own thoughts, become invincible. Not because the world cannot hurt them, but because no external blow can break what has been made unbreakable within. Marcus Aurelius lived surrounded by sycophants, traitors, wars, disease, and loss. Yet his mind remained a sanctuary. That, not his armies, not his throne, was his true power, and it is a power available to you as well. If you are willing to dismantle the illusions society has sold you, the illusions that keep you enslaved, distracted, weak, break them, and you will begin to see the world and yourself with new eyes. Eyes no longer blinded by false promises, but sharpened by the clarity of inner strength. Pain is the teacher no one wishes for, yet the one that visits every life without invitation. In a world obsessed with comfort and pleasure, pain is seen as an enemy to be avoided at all costs. But Marcus Aurelius understood something most never realize. Pain, when faced rightly, is not an enemy. It is a mentor. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. These words echo across centuries, offering a wisdom that most are too afraid to accept. Pain strips away illusions. It forces clarity. It reveals the truth of who you are when nothing is easy, when nothing is certain, when you are exposed and vulnerable. Under comfort, the ego thrives. It tells stories of entitlement, pride, invincibility. But under pain, the ego cracks. And beneath it, something truer and more enduring can be found. Marcus faced endless pains during his reign, betrayals by trusted generals, the deaths of his children, the collapse of borders, the decay of his own health. And yet through it all, he did not curse fate or wallow in despair. Instead, he asked, "What is this here to teach me?" Pain taught him patience. Pain taught him humility. Pain taught him resilience, the kind that no amount of success or admiration could offer. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This was not denial. This was mastery. He recognized that suffering is not caused by events themselves, but by our attachment to how we think life should be. Pain exposes the gap between reality and expectation. And when you close that gap, when you accept life on its terms, not yours, pain transforms from tormentor into guide. The world tells you to numb pain, to distract yourself, to flee. But Marcus urges you to stand firm, to let the fire of suffering burn away everything in you that is weak, false, and unnecessary. Because what survives that fire is you, the real you, stronger, clearer, more whole. Pain is the forge in which true character is made. Without it, strength is hollow, wisdom is shallow, compassion is thin. Those who seek only pleasure are like children chasing sunlight, never realizing that real growth happens in the storm. The hidden truth is this: pain is not your enemy. It is your passage, your purification, your initiation into a deeper existence. but only if you are willing to face it without flinching, without fleeing, without bargaining for an easier road. In pain, Marcus found not defeat, but dignity, not weakness, but wisdom, not despair, but a doorway to a kind of strength that no comfort could ever grant. You can find it too, if you stop running, if you meet pain not as a victim, but as a student. Because those who refuse to learn from pain are doomed to be broken by it, but those who embrace it are remade into something indestructible. Freedom. The word is everywhere, chanted like a sacred mantra, yet few understand its true meaning. Most believe freedom is the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, to follow every impulse, to indulge every desire, to be unfettered by rules or limits. But Marcus Aurelius and the stoic tradition he embodies reveals a far deeper and far harder truth. True freedom is not freedom from external constraints. It is freedom from internal slavery, slavery to fear, slavery to anger, slavery to greed, to vanity, to endless craving. The man who is a slave to his emotions is never free, no matter how powerful he appears. The man who cannot command his own mind will always be ruled by circumstances, by passions, by the opinions of others. Marcus understood that the real battle is not fought on battlefields or in boardrooms. It is fought within the self. You must build up your life action by action, he wrote, and be content if each achieves its goal as far as possible. This is the Stoic paradox. Freedom comes not from license, but from discipline, from mastering your inner world so completely that no external event can shake you. Marcus faced betrayals, plagues, wars. He could not control these storms, but he could control whether they ruled his soul. True freedom is the power to remain unmoved by fortune or misfortune, to act according to your principles, not your fears, to choose wisdom over impulse, even when every fiber of your being screams otherwise. The hidden lesson is simple yet brutal. If you are not free within, no amount of external freedom will save you. You will carry your chains wherever you go. Most people, even those with power and wealth, live as prisoners. Prisoners of image, of appetite, of ambition. And the saddest part is that they defend their chains as if they were crowns. Marcus offers a different vision, a life where serenity is built not on the shifting sands of circumstance, but on the bedrock of virtue. He reminds you that death is inevitable, that loss is certain, that everything you cling to will eventually slip through your fingers. And in that reminder lies an invitation to stop clinging, to stop enslaving yourself to what you cannot keep. Freedom is not having everything. It is needing nothing. It is waking each day, not anxious about gain or loss, but rooted in something no fortune can bestow and no disaster can destroy. It is living in harmony with nature, with reason, with your own highest self. This kind of freedom is invisible to the world. It will not win you applause or headlines, but it will grant you something infinitely rarer, peace, a peace that remains even when the empire falls, a peace that smiles even as life's storms rage all around. And it is a freedom you can claim right now if you dare to let go of everything you thought you needed. Imagine Marcus Aurelius walking among us today. What would he see? He would see a world obsessed with distractions, a civilization drowning in information but starving for wisdom, people chasing wealth, fame, status, believing these will quiet the unrest inside them. He would see men and women, rich in possessions but poor in peace, masters of technology but slaves to their emotions. And he would not be surprised, because human nature has not changed. The same fears, the same cravings, the same illusions that plagued Rome plague us still. Marcus would remind us, external things are not the problem. Your judgment about them is. And this you have the power to revoke. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are a victim of your own reactions. The smartphone that distracts you, the news that angers you, the social media that inflames your envy, none of these have power over you unless you grant it. You could have all the knowledge of the internet at your fingertips and still be imprisoned by ignorance if you do not master your mind. The true application of Stoicism today is not about retreating from the world. It is about engaging with it, without being consumed by it. It is about scrolling past the noise and choosing what feeds your soul. About recognizing that fame, trends, and controversies are the same bread and circuses that Rome used to distract its people. It is about living deliberately, choosing with care what you allow into your mind, your heart, your life. Marcus would challenge you. What is the cost of your distractions? What strength could you build if you reclaimed your focus, your attention, your will? The empire you must rule is your own mind. The rebellion you must quell is the revolt of your own impulses. The peace you must build is not around you, but within you. In a chaotic, reactive world, Stoicism is not a luxury, it is a necessity, because those who master themselves will thrive, and those who don't will be tossed like leaves in the storms of history. The lessons Marcus left are not relics for museums. They are weapons for warriors, for those brave enough to fight the real battle, the battle within. You have heard the words, you have glimpsed the hidden lessons. Now the question is simple, will you act? The path Marcus Aurelius walked is open to you, but it is narrow, steep, and strewn with obstacles. It asks everything, your pride, your illusions, your attachments. It demands that you face pain, loss, fear, not as enemies, but as sacred initiations into a deeper life. Most will not take this path. They will continue chasing shadows, dressing chains as crowns, seeking validation from a world too distracted to care. But a few, a very few, will choose differently. They will build inner fortresses no enemy can breach. They will forge serenity from struggle. They will live, not as slaves to fortune, but as sovereigns of their own souls. If you are listening, if something inside you stirs at these words, then know, you have already begun. The first step is seeing through the illusion. The second is accepting the price. The third is walking step by step into a freedom so profound it defies description. You will stumble, you will doubt, you will be tempted to turn back. But if you persist, you will find what Marcus found, a strength that neither wealth nor fame nor power could ever rival, a strength that no disaster can destroy, a strength born not from ruling others, but from ruling yourself. This is the hidden treasure, the silent crown, the true empire, and it has always been not outside you, but within. The journey is yours now. Walk it with courage, walk it with humility, and become unbreakable.